Trigger warning. The following video contains a photo of a husky dog looking like it's about to rape you. If you're a weak-minded child in a grown person's body, you might find this video offensive. If you're offended, there's a nice link down below to a safe space which you should use to help ease your butthurt. Note to my regular subscribers, don't fucking click on that link, please. Okay, first things first, I'm sorry for not making the videos I said that I would. I've been to the walls of Mordor and back in the last week, and I found out about an interesting new type of feminism called femithiesm, so I hope you can all find it in your hearts to forgive me. Making one of these videos takes me a fucking long time. Anyway, once again, like the village drunk, I'm back on the dumb feminist source, and this time, just when I thought that pedantry and self-importance had reached its logical critical mass, unfortunately we have yet more dribble-lipped flammery from not only the media, but once again a feminist causing a ruckus over practically nothing. In fact, this picture right here up on the screen is what she's protesting. Yes, a husky. In fact, it's a new mascot for the University of Connecticut's athletics department. And guess what? A feminist student took offense to it as being a pro-rape symbol. I shit you not. Well, I happen to have a letter here to the president of the university, so let's just put on our internet detective hat for a second and have a look at the letter, shall we? And I quote,
"I write to you as a UConn student, but more specifically as a UConn woman and feminist. I want to first express my admiration for you as a woman who has made it in a man's world, who has faced the odds and done seemingly unthinkable, becoming the first woman president at UConn over the course of its 130-year history. You serve as a shining example that even the most challenging of ceilings can be broken, and you speak to the considerable strides that women have made over the last 50 years in academia and the professional world."
Okay, I'm gonna gloss over the obvious simpering ass-kissing tone here that there was throughout that paragraph pretty undeniably, but let's stop and think for a second. Here we have a woman glad-handing another woman's success for the fact that she's a woman. This is kind of like a black supremacist writing a letter to Obama being, "Yo Obama, I'm so glad that the Black Panthers got you into the White House, bro. Look here, she made it to where she is today through hard work, commitment, and sacrifice like everyone else, not you and your sisterhood sewing circle. For example, I have a lecturer at university who's in the top of her field. She has 2 PhDs and a master's, and guess what? She's not even white. I guess you got her there too. Much like the white pride brigade, idiots who wear the label of feminist these days, at least some of them, are only too willing to co-opt and take credit for the success of others instead of working to do anything of value for society as a whole, and no bitching about pop culture shit doesn't count. But I digress. Let's see what she says next.
Over the course of the past 2 weeks, UConn has gradually unveiled its new University Visual Identity program, which will make UConn the school's new wordmark, with a unified appearance, and will require a change in the husky logo from its current mascot to a more powerful and aggressive-looking logo. In your second State of the University address, you spoke to the reasoning behind this rebranding and logo change, and these justifications left me overcome by waves of anger and frustration. As a UConn student who is proud of my university's academics and my future degree, I feel frustrated. As a woman student living at this campus, I am outright offended."
Okay, well, where to begin? Well, first thing we have to do is just look at the new logo, which has been up on the screen this whole time. This is what all the brouhaha is about, but what's interesting is that this is the old logo. I mean, seriously, look at it. It's a goddamn corgi, one of nature's least dangerous animals. What's next? The Philadelphia parakeets, the New Hampshire nematode worms, the Boston bacteria. I was under the impression that perhaps a bit of aggression and a bit of competitive spirit is what you're going for in terms of sport mascots and branding. But I guess I must be wrong there, because being aggressive is apparently a masculine quality under their constructs, and so it's all part of the patriarchal superstructure. Okay, so once we get over this whole logo change thing, we get to the last part, which is where I'm going to simply quote Stephen Fry.
It's now very common to hear people say, "I'm rather offended by that," as if that gives them certain rights. It's actually nothing more, it's simply a whine. It's no more than a whine.
I find that so offensive.
I find that offensive. It has no meaning, it has no purpose, it has no reason to be respected as a phrase. I am offended by that. Well, so fucking what?
So with that jolly little incompetence behind us, let's have a look at the part that usually leaves yet another brown stain on my computer chair. The evidence.
Here is a timeline of some events that are disturbingly absent from this account of the past year in Yukon athletics. On June 21st, 2012, Yukon men's basketball becomes the first BCS rated school team to face a postseason ban based solely on low APR academic progress rate scores. Number 2. On October 6, 2012, Lyle McCombs is arrested on charges of second-degree breach of the peace for a domestic violence dispute in which he was, quote-unquote, yelling, pushing and spitting at his girlfriend during an argument outside a residence hall. Number 3. On February 11, 2013, Enosh Wolf is arrested on charges of a third-degree burglary, first-degree criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct when he quote-unquote refused to leave a female student's apartment, quote-unquote grabbed their victim and pushed her head and knocked the glasses off the victim's face with his hand. And number 4. On March 21, 2013, Tyler Olander is arrested for trespassing in a structural conveyance while on spring break in Panama City, Florida.
Well, okay, numbered list. This'll be easy then. Number 1. Academic related, has nothing to do with women or their rights. Number 2. Second degree breach of peace is not a sexual crime or a physical crime. He just got pissed off at his girlfriend. The fact that assault charges were not pressed means that there's a good chance that the domestic abuse incident was probably a mutual thing between the two of them and didn't turn physical. Without more details, of course, we have no clue what went on. Number 3. Once again, not a sexual crime, not charged with assault, probably by the sounds of it quite a disturbed individual, no further details given, no further analysis is possible. And number 4, completely unrelated once again to women's rights, some guy got drunk and walked into the wrong hotel room probably. Once again, we don't know the context, so we can't draw conclusions, of course, and by that I mean anyone who's reading this with a clear objective mindset can't draw conclusions. But of course the young feminist miss here has different ideas. Let's read on to what she interprets from these 4 incidents, 2 of which count for examples of disorderly conduct by students against women.
Instead of giving these problematic aspects of the male athletic peer culture at Yukon a second look, or giving the face of athletics a true makeover, it appears that the focus of your administration is prioritizing the remodeling of the fictional face of the Husky logo, instead of communicating a zero-tolerance atmosphere for this kind of behavior, increasing or vocalizing support to violence against women prevention efforts on campus in the face of such events, or increasing support to student-run programs that seek to work with athletes on issues of violence as well as academic issues, it will appear that your administration is more interested in fostering consumerism and corporatization than education and community. Another example of the shift in priorities can be seen in the current administration selection of the new logo, a selection made with no involvement from the consultation with the normal, everyday, non-Olympian student body.
Oh God. Christ almighty, this just keeps getting worse. Look, the kind of behaviour that you've been describing here were incidents which only happened to involve women, but there were no assault charges laid. No women were hit, no physical domestic abuse has taken place in any of these 2 cases out of the hundreds of students who are in the athletics program. So yeah, let's send money educating people about a problem that doesn't exist, because Steubenville, I guess. And here's the thing, if I hear that goddamn word problematic one more time, I'm going to the kitchen, grabbing the scissors, and saving the femithiest the trouble by castrating myself all over my fucking desk. Much like the patriarchy, I am so fucking sick of these buzzwords being trotted out again and again as thought-terminating cliches. Basically, find a buzzword in a dictionary, use it, and you've won your argument, no need to proceed any further. And of course, finally, I like how she thinks that she herself, as a non-athlete, has the right to tell the entire athletic establishment what mascots and symbology they can choose because it has something to do with her. I guess now they're fat dumb bitchophobic or something, and if fat dumb bitchophobic isn't a buzzword, it will be by tonight because someone will probably start up a new topic on one of the various feminism sites around the place or Tumblr, and next thing tomorrow, if I call someone who's basically doesn't engage in any type of athletic activity and say that they don't have the right to tell other people what athletic activity they can engage in, then I'm just being fat dumb and bitchophobic. But I digress. Though, if you can fucking believe it, it gets worse. Contrary to speculation, the husky will not appear to be mean, snarling, or capable of frightening small children. Instead, he will be rendered as the sleek, beautiful animal a real husky truly is.
Well, President Herbst, the new husky logo may not be capable of frightening small children, but the face of life at Yukon Athletics is certainly capable of frightening college women.
Madam, you do realize that you've just compared small children with women, right? I'll get to this in a second. It is looking right through you and saying, "Do not mess with me. This is a streamlined fighting dog, and I cannot wait for it to be on our uniforms in court." Gino Oriamema. Probably a sexist.
What terrifies me about the admiration of such traits is that I know what it feels like to have a real-life husky look straight through you and to feel powerless and to wonder if even the administration cannot mess with them. And I know that I'm not alone. It is on this note that I ask you to hear these words, and whether you hear me or not, I thank you for the ceilings you have shattered that benefit women in academia such as myself. In the words of Audre Lorde, this letter is in repayment.
Okay, I could mention that this is where she starts not just kissing the ass, but licking the ass and sticking the tongue in, but I won't because I have to maintain my composure to say what I have to next. Adults are not frightened of cartoon dogs. 3-year-old children are. And this is the particular biggest problem that I personally have with feminists of this stripe. They are misogynists. They treat women like children. It is as simple as that. Want to live in the real world and have your ideas taken seriously by grown-ups? Then why don't you try growing the fuck up sometime? Until then, you can retreat back into Andrea Dworkin's womb and tell yourselves that my words and their hurty meanings are somehow invalidated by my white middle-class privilege, like that's not a logical fallacy or something. I also love how she ends the letter with another nice square kiss on the ass too, just for added effect. Now there's one last thing that I want to say. Who exactly is the woman who wrote this article? Carolyn Luby is a senior at the University of Connecticut, majoring in women's studies and sexuality studies in Spanish and minoring in Latina studies. She's involved in various different feminist groups and violence against women prevention efforts on campus. Wait a second. You're telling me that a woman here, this particular woman, is taking 2 cases out of the hundreds of athletes that are in the programs to use as a reason that she and the organizations she's associated with need funding. What a funny coincidence. So, in conclusion, if this is indeed the sort of astute criticism and insight that our young feminist academics are coming out with, the patriarchy is not going to be in trouble anytime soon. So you MRAs can put down your pitchforks and shotguns and go back to bed. Now, if you'll excuse me, the castration ritual's about to begin, whereafter I'll become one of Femithiest's castrated male sex slaves. Wish me luck. I will see all of you people later. Thanks for watching, and as always,
good night and good luck.